Evening. What you're going to see in a minute is Nigel Farage saying about the Brexit betrayal. There has been a betrayal to the people. We do want to leave. We don't want to keep doing these silly deals. Now we have Labour and Conservative joining together to rip off the people. It is an absolute... Why do we need two parties then if they're going to work together and back each other up? That's not an opposition. We need proportionate representation in this country. Hopefully, in the EU elections, people will go out and vote just for Brexit Party. Absolutely demolish the other parties, and it will show them that we are not willing to stand for this. And the next election, if you don't want to vote for the Brexit Party, I understand a lot of people don't. A lot of people have opposite opinions to mine. Vote for independent people. Do not vote Labour or Conservative, or even Lib Dems, to be honest. All they want to do is make you beg for what you can get. That is not what our country is about. We need to stand together as a people and show the political class we are not willing to let them guess at what we want after we tell them what we want. Just because some of these go to high posh schools and never done a job in their life doesn't mean they know better than us. We need to stand together. I'm going to let the video run now of Nigel Farage. You can stay and watch it. Subscribe, follow me if you like these things. Thank you very much. If you've got any opinions, just put them down below. Cheers.
Newport! I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. I was here 3 years ago, as Nathan said earlier. I was here 3 years ago in South Wales, out campaigning in Caerphilly and Cardiff, in Newport, and indeed speaking here on this platform. And I could tell, I knew, despite the fact that nearly all of our leading politicians, particularly in Wales, despite the fact the international global order was telling us, remember what would happen if we voted leave? Indeed, George Osborne, our Chancellor, told us. Oh, I've got better than him coming up, don't you worry. George Osborne told us there'd be an emergency budget, interest rates would rise, taxes would go up, 500,000 jobs would be lost immediately, companies would leave the United Kingdom, plagues of black locusts would descend. Well, they might as well have said it. But I got the feeling in that week running up to the referendum here in South Wales and around the rest of the United Kingdom, I got the feeling that despite the threats, despite even President Obama coming over to tell us that we'd be at the back of the queue, I got the feeling that through all of this, we actually were independently minded people. We'd make our minds up and we would vote to take back our independence. And I have to say, as the dawn came up on the 24th of June in London, I thought we'd done it. I thought we'd won. I thought we would. I really did. I thought we'd won. And then the following year, there was a general election in which the leaders of both the Conservative and the Labour parties said, vote for us and we will honour the promise we made to you at the time of the referendum, and we will leave the European Union. And nearly 85% of people voted for them. And I still thought, it's going to be okay. We've won. And then 498 members of Parliament voted for Article 50. And Article 50 said we were going to leave the European Union at 11 p.m. on the 29th of March 2019 with or without a deal. And then I really thought we'd won. And you know, I have never regarded myself as being particularly naive, but even I cannot believe the extent to which our political class in both of our so-called main parties have openly and willfully betrayed the greatest democratic exercise in the history of our country. They told us we were going to leave on the 29th of March, and then Mrs. May. And I disagree with Anne Widdecombe very strongly on this point. Anne thinks this is the worst Prime Minister we've had since Anthony Eden. I think she's the worst Prime Minister in the history of our country. She told us we'd leave on the 29th of March. She then told us we would leave on the 12th of April. She then told us we would leave by the 30th of June. And now she tells us we'll be leaving on the 31st of October. Halloween, trick or treaty, I wonder. In fact, our exit date has now got more dates than a child's advent calendar, it seems to me. And here's the truth of it. If we allow this Conservative government and this Labour opposition, if we allow them to continue on their current course, we will never, ever get the Brexit that we voted for. And we know what we voted for. I've had enough of being told that because we voted Brexit, we're thick, we're stupid, we didn't know what we knew exactly what we were voting for in that referendum. So I made a decision. I wasn't, after 25 years of campaigning endlessly the length and breadth of this Parliament, I wasn't, after 20 years of doing battle in the European Parliament up against my good friends Herman Van Rompuy, Michel Barnier, Guy Verhofstadt, and of course, top of the pops, Jean-Claude Juncker. I got to tell you, Juncker, I mean, he's pretty useless before lunch, but afterwards, my God. So I've done my bit. I've battled to make these arguments in Brussels. I've battled to make these arguments throughout the United Kingdom. And I have to say, I thought to myself in December, I haven't spent 25 years fighting for this to be rolled over by a career class of politician who have lied to us, betrayed us. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So I decided the time had come to fight back, and I formed this Brexit party, and I vowed if I had to come back into public life, this time, no more Mr. Nice Guy, okay? And by that what I mean is this party, this campaign that we're embarked upon, heading towards the 23rd of May, this is no longer for me just about getting the United Kingdom out of the European Union. There is something bigger. There is something far more fundamental at stake here. This is about what kind of country we are. Are we to be the kind of free, democratic nation that observes the rules and respects its citizens? Or are we frankly to behave like a third world country? I promise you If a vote in an African country was overturned, our political class in Westminster would all be having a fit of the vapours. They'd be demanding the United Nations was sent in because democracy had been broken. And yet this humiliating situation, this most shameful chapter of the democratic history of our nation, it's happening here in our country. And I promise you this battle now is not just about Brexit. It's not just about getting us out of the European Union. It is in fact about sweeping away a political class who serve nobody but themselves, who have no This is about changing politics for good. This is about the rebirth of democracy, making it fit and proper for the 21st century. It's about sweeping aside, if they won't listen, two political parties who now serve nothing but themselves. It's about getting a parliament that actually represents the view of the people of this country. It's about readjusting the relationship between the people and the politicians. The point is, they think and they behave as if they're the masters and we're the servants. And the process that we're going to begin on May the 23rd is we're going to make them know, when we win those elections, that we are the masters and they are the servants. So I ask you, are you with us? Will you support us? Will you help us? Are we going to win on May the 23rd? Thank you.